Okay, so in the last video we've been putting in some of the graphics here. Now I'm concerned because whenever I put in some sample text into my content box, I get a break between the segments and that background's not showing up. So I know that in content wrap, which wraps this entire thing and holds the repeating background, I've got a mistake. So I'll go back to take a look here. And it says no repeat left top. Well, it's supposed to repeat, so that's probably my problem. So let me type in repeat and see if that doesn't fix it. Yep. So here's some text. Here's some more text. So right now none of my text is formatted, but I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to, order of operation, correct order of operation. First thing we do is lay out general to specific. So we've got our general stuff. Now we're going to get into a little bit harder. One of the things I want to do right now is start to work on the navigation. So I have a navigation bar here, and I'm going to just guess that this is a navigation bar here. On her mock-up, she didn't really say explicitly that this was a navigation area, but we're going to just pretend it is. I bet good money it might have been. So I want some neat looking buttons, and I want them to go across here. And I don't want to use flash or anything too fancy, but I do want them to look pretty darn cool. One of the things that I can do, what a lot of webmasters do, is use a list. If I use a list tends to go down, right? They don't tend to go sideways. But there's a neat little website that you can go to called List-O-Matic. And I've already cruised List-O-Matic, and I found a navigation bar that I wanted to try on this. Now, if you take a look at this navigation, you might kind of puke a little bit because, the color is all wrong. But the color doesn't have to be right. It just has to be able to be modified. And I like this little navigation bar, and I think I can make it work. So I already have a container. See, this has a nav ID container. We already have our navigation container. We don't need that. What we need is this UL right here, which stands for unordered list. So this says HTML at the top. So this is our HTML. Control copy. And now I'm going to go jump back to Dreamweaver. And here's our navigation. Give myself some space in here. You don't have to cram everything together. I'm going to tab in a little bit, and I'm going to paste this. I'll select this and tab it in so I know that it's underneath and contained within this ID that says navigation. Now I need to go back out to the internet, and he has the CSS listed. Notice he has no CSS listed for nav container. That's because it's whatever you already have, which is what we did already. So there's a lot of code here, and I'm going to snag all of that. Now, isn't that easier than having to do a bunch of trial and error all day long? I thought you would agree. And I've built tons of commercial websites using List-O-Matic. Probably shouldn't say that. Okay, so underneath navigation now, I'm going to tab in, and if it doesn't work for you because you're on a Macintosh or something, go ahead and copy and tab in so that you know that this style is underneath navigation. Okay, you don't have to change the naming or anything on this one, but you do have to just tab it in so you know. Or if you want to, you could put a note and say this is underneath navigation. Always feel free to make notes to yourself in the code. Don't expect to remember things. Not everyone's as forgetful as I am, but it helps to have notes. So under nav list, I need to make a few modifications. And I can take a look. And this looks, it's fairly much in the right place, but it's probably because I copied over my old code. So nav list, let me take a look and see what I did. I needed to change the padding here. And I changed this padding to 15 pixels, 0 pixels. Again, I keep an eye on the time here. This takes a lot of kind of trial and error. Margin left 0. I'm going to clear that out. Take that off. Oops. The font, I'll leave. The style none, margin 0, I'll leave. But this border top, I'm going to delete. I don't want a border on the top. Oops. Did it again. Nav list. List A, this is active link. This is the links themselves. Okay, because these are all links. If we just type some text in here, this isn't going to look right. Because these are only for our links. So I'm going to look at this padding. Let's see, I changed a few things. I think. Nope, that looks good. That looks good. Border left. I'm going to take out the background color now, so it's no longer that pukey purple. And you see it coming along slowly. Okay, I've got a border left, and I'm going to change the color on that. And the color I want to grab is from Photoshop and from the original mock-up. What I did is I went out and I sampled this blue. And then, oops, I'll go back in and paste it right there. And something else that I'll do is up here at the very top, I'll make a comment. I'll put colors used, and I'll put blue, and that way if somebody else accesses the style sheet, they have it. Okay, so back to, where was I? I was making this very blue. Make sure I got that in there right. Be sure you have this number sign in front of your color. What happens is if you don't, it'll work haphazardly. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't work at all. Text decoration, that's the normal underline underneath the link. We're going to say don't underline the link, please. Okay, so our A link, we're going to make this white. White's really easy to remember. It's 3 F's. And the visited link is also going to be white. Just 3 F's. On hover, let's see, we're going to make the color, I think I chose orange, which is EF9E1. E, because I already went out to Photoshop and snagged it. So go up here at the top, make a note, orange. Okay, so I need to just double check and make sure that I have my code right, and then just adjust as needed. Okay, so it's looking alright, except it's slightly in the wrong spot. Let me go ahead and preview in Safari. Oops.